Hello, this is Lisa and this is my channel, Summon Art. This is the third part of my profile picture series and the second part that's digital. I hope you've just enjoyed the part that you should have just come over from, and here we continue. So I just carried on here and kind of tried to sort out what colour I wanted for Tyson's face. And for his ears, you can see I'm just dragging bits of the shape up to sort of just try and meet the lines and make sure everything's all neat and tidy. I tried to bring in a picture of Tyson's face there to actually get the colour directly from it, but I didn't quite work that out properly. It just didn't work for me. The colour I was pulling directly from the photo, so I decided to choose my own colour. Something I had to work out here is you can see Tyson's face beyond the circle, which obviously I don't want. I want it nice and clean, and I want that all to be cut off and you just see what's in the circle. So here I worked out how to mask it, basically. So you drag whatever you want to be masked up to the thing you want to mask it with. So I dragged mine up to the circle, my layer, and you just hold it there and it masks it. It is that simple, and you won't be able to see what's beyond the edges anymore, it's so handy. I could not believe how easy it was to kind of figure out how to do that. So that's kind of props to this program, really. I changed the fur direction, which you can see me doing here, to make sure it's actually all pointing the right way, because it was actually pointing the wrong way before, which was a bit silly. But now I'm adding some more of Tyson's black markings on the top of his head. I had a reference picture next to me to do this, so I could kind of have a look at it and see what colours needed to be more prominent and what sort of needed to be made smaller. And I also needed to think about the fact that this obviously is going to get shrunk, so things can't be too small, otherwise you won't actually be able to see them when it gets smaller. And I'm doing his ear tufts here. God, I love those little fluffy ear tufts in a cat's ears. Now I moved on to the face, onto my face even. And again, I brought a picture in because I thought that would help me to get a more accurate colour. In fact, it just made me look very orange. So I decided that was probably best to left, and I would just pick my own skin colour. And now I'm just doing sort of nice anime-esque looking eyes, which is partly off of what I found from the other profile pictures. Obviously, they're all pretty cartoony and quite simplified. So yeah, I kind of took the same approach with mine and made the eyes nice and big because that's what's quite appealing to people. Wanted to get some blue into the picture because that was quite important to me, to get some nice bits of blue, as that's my favourite colour. So yeah, I have a hat actually that's this exact colour, which is why I've made this one look like that. And I'm just kind of the shape is right behind my face, and I'm just, obviously if you could actually see all of it, it'd actually be covering a lot of my face. But yes, that's besides the point. It's obviously in the layer kind of behind it, so that's something that happened quite a lot when I got round to making a new shape. I still had the old colour selected, so I'd end up with the wrong colour for a little bit anyway. So now I'm just doing some darker skin tones to add some shading. So it's a nice cell shading effect And yeah, there I was trying to make some shapes to add a little bit more definition there. And I nearly filled in the whole of the logo, which profile picture background, which wasn't quite what I was aiming for. I even put a little dark bit in between Tyson's ear and my face. Trying to work out how to bend this bit of shadow was a little bit difficult to make it seem sort of organic, because it didn't look right if it was straight across when there's a split bit there with my mouth, obviously. But then I just kind of copy pasted it and put it on the other side, as I did oh so often with a lot of things on this. It just, yeah, as I've said in my previous video, copy paste, it's a bit of a lifesaver. It's not something I use a lot in Photoshop, but in here it's definitely something I like. Made Tyson's ear tufts a bit bigger so that they stand out more, just to make him a bit cuter, because why not? Yeah, just doing a little bit of fiddling around, really, making sure all the colours were in the right place and that I was happy with them. And yeah, again, copy paste, then flip, and then sort of adjust it slightly for the other side, rather than go through all the hassle of having to neaten all the points up again. I don't know what I was doing there. I was zooming in and out all over the place. Oh yes, now I'm adding a little bit more colour into my eyes. I mean, I've been told they're quite a nice colour, and I kind of wanted to make them stand out a little bit, and they looked way too flat with just that one sort of blue going through them, so I thought this might help. Yeah, it definitely does highlight them a lot more, and highlight the pupil, obviously. And then copy, paste, flip, and rinse and repeat. Copy, paste, flip, I think, again in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, there we go. Copy, paste, flip. See, I know what I'm about to do because I've already done it, but that, yeah. Now I'm doing a bit more colouring for Tyson's eyes and adding a dark bit around his pupils. And I added a bit of shading just behind his head to make his head stand out a bit more, and again add a bit more depth. And the same for the blue hat. I mean, I didn't make this shading that dark. I made it quite colourful, actually. It's because I didn't want to make anything look too dull. I wanted it to be quite sort of bright and fairly cheerful. Yeah, I want to make myself look appealing, I guess. Or look nice, at least. Friendly, I mean. Oh. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you've kind of enjoyed listening to this little commentary going on while going through this. And I don't know what was going on there. Everything was going a bit nuts. I think I was trying to change the layer order a bit to try and get this dark bit in. But instead I just kind of, I know there was a better way of doing this, but I just matched it all up to the black outline, so that you couldn't see the skin layer. And yeah, I did the shadow under the brim of the hat that way, and I did another shadow inside the ears to make those again a bit darker, which I think was a good move, actually. It does give it more depth. And the little black line there for my lip, just jiggling the line about. Well, here I think I'm just changing my my line widths a bit, just to, I think I tried to put it onto YouTube, and the lines were just not thick enough. It all looked a bit thin, and my face and everything didn't really stand out very well, so I went through all the lines. It's only when you put it on YouTube or somewhere else like Facebook that you actually see properly what it looks like when it's smaller. I maybe didn't shrink it down enough to actually see what the difference would be. But there we go. I mean, obviously I'm still learning, so I am going to do things not quite right, but I'm doing my best. And you're hopefully getting some entertainment out of seeing me just messing around with things here. And this takes me a while. Like, trying to figure out what my background colour is going to be was quite the task. I started off white, then decided I didn't stand out enough, so I did a black background. And then I kind of decided the black background. After a while, I sort of fiddled around with strokes and stuff. Yeah, I decided the black background was too dark, because I did try it on YouTube and I didn't really feel it worked. So I tried to do a gradient, and I did it with purple, and then I hit on like this yellowy orange, which worked quite well. But I was also quite stuck on the dark background because I liked how it made me and Tyson stand out. And I was thinking, the name of my channel is Summon Art, so I wanted it to look a little magical. I just feel that effect wasn't there before, so I kind of decided to add some little glowing stars to make it look a little bit more, just to say a little bit more magical and nice, and add a bit of interest in the background so it's not just plain. And I did like this, but I think again when it was shrunk down, and I am actually repeatedly taking it back and bringing it back in here, you can see me doing it quite a lot, to see what it looks like when it's smaller. I kind of learnt my lesson from the first bit when I tried to put just my outline and colouring of myself and Tyson on YouTube and saw what it looked like when it was small. I kind of realised, wait a minute, I should have been doing that as part of my process. So yeah, you can see me kind of trying to rectify that a bit now. And here what I'm doing is actually trying to make them look a bit less like stars and more like little magical sparkles or like dust motes almost. And I've got a few versions of the profile picture that I've saved, and I've put them all next to each other and made them small, and then I figured out which ones I liked the most that I wanted to carry on working on to kind of take forward. And what I realised is that the yellowy orange, like this is more yellow than orange, but looked quite nice, and it really stood out a lot compared to all the others. So I thought, why not add the sparkly dust motes to the yellowy orange background and see what I get. So I kind of went through the different backgrounds again and tried a few different things. I tried a darker sort of thing so it was a bit more orange in the background there, and I decided that worked better. And here you can kind of see me trying to neaten things up, basically. I'm trying to go through everything and put them all into groups so that when you kind of click it, it all kind of consolidates into one layer, and it's easier to move everything, and it's kind of easier to change what's visible and what's not and make a bit more sense of things. But yes, that was my process and how I got my profile picture ready to put up onto YouTube, to Facebook, to Instagram, to Dayflash as well, I'm using at the moment. And this was the end of the second and final part of the digital process of making my profile picture. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.